Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to yet again another Universal Epic Universe construction update, where we have some brand new developments going on. Thanks to BioReconstruct, all of his construction photos can be found on his Twitter account, so make sure to go give him a follow for all the great work that he does. But before that, my name is Scott, and you're watching Exploring Attractions, and if you're new here, please subscribe down below with those bell notifications on, and leave this video a like at the end if you do enjoy it. And as always, please check out all of our social media down below in the description: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. All that fun stuff can be found down below. But yes, I say some new interesting developments because there is some new interesting stuff, as well as changes to different structures that we didn't see in the last update. On top of that, some people have pointed out some specific things being added to the How to Train Your Dragon coaster. So with that being said, let's jump right into today's Epic Universe update. Now, first and foremost, I want to talk about these developments that I'm talking about, and that's because landscaping has officially made its way over to Universal's Epic Universe. More specifically, there have been some trees added to the plot of the Dual Racing roller coaster, and honestly, when they add new trees in like this, it adds so much more to the coaster. I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane once they add trees all throughout the park. And these are already at least somewhat grown trees. They're just planting them in, and they're going to grow even more as time goes on. It's going to make the park look really beautiful. And in different areas, there's going to be different trees and landscaping, like the How to Train Your Dragon land, the Dual Racing roller coaster. Obviously, Monsters will have some landscaping as well. We won't see landscaping in places like Super Nintendo World or the Wizarding World, just because of the theme of their different lands. But honestly, the fact that they're already adding landscaping into Epic Universe should excite most fans. And yeah, you can see it's not just to one certain specific area of the coaster. They're adding the trees all over the place. It really adds a whole lot, and I'm excited to see them grow over time and see how it just adds the overall theme of the coaster. Or I guess the right word would be vibe, because if you look at Hagrid's, that's all covered in different landscaping. You have trees, you have bushes, all that fun stuff, and in my opinion, that adds just as much as the theming adds to Hagrid's and the whole coaster experience. So yeah, lots of fun stuff happening there, but that's not the only bit of landscaping, as there has been some added to the Universal Monsters area as well. Actually, right in the middle of their rumored Wolfman coaster, you can see just a little bit patch of grass or some form of bush where the rumored Wolfman coaster is going to be at. Honestly, it's not as big as the trees with the Dual Racing roller coaster, but at least it's still something. It's very exciting, the fact that they're adding landscaping. You know, they added theming, they added detail. You know, we got us all excited when we saw the detail on the statues of Berk in How to Train Your Dragon, and then it got us excited to see the different structures popping up in Super Nintendo World and the detail going on in there. Now they're adding landscaping. You know what's next? Is cycling the attractions. Hopefully, once these coaster tracks are complete, they can start cycling the attractions in the near future. I don't know how soon that'll be, but it'll be quite interesting to see once they start cycling the attractions, because if you take a kind of a time frame of what Islands of Adventure did, Velocicoaster started cycling at least its very early phases of testing about like 6 months before opening, and then obviously 6 months later it opened up. So I'm just very intrigued to see when they'll start doing some form of testing for these different coasters. And now if you look at How to Train Your Dragon, and we go back to that same kind of plot that we've been looking at, obviously we talked about the bridge that the coaster is going to soar under, and kind of what the grand reveal of what you're going to get once you walk into the How to Train Your Dragon land. You can see lots of construction on the statues of Berk. But if you zoom in closely, people pointed out on Twitter that there is a brand new form of detail on one of the Viking boats. And BioReconstruct said it best. It looks to be a dragon head, which is being sculpted at the top of one of the Viking boats. Now, those Viking boats have been under construction for a while. They've been covered, so it's been really hard to tell exactly all the detail that's going to be put into them. But now, if you zoom in really closely, you can definitely see those dragon heads start to be added to the end of the Viking boats. It looks like right now, from the plot of that little general area where the statues work at, it looks like there's going to be, I think, 3 Viking boats currently under constructed for that area, which the coaster is going to zoom past, and you'll get a good view of everything. And this coaster's not going to go very fast at all, so you'll actually be able to get a good look at everything instead of just zooming right past it and having to ride it multiple times to see it. But like I said, you'll also be able to see that standing from the entry portal to the entire land. And BioReconstruct does an amazing job with his aerial photos, but once he gets those like ground level photos, it's so awesome to see the different heights and elevation of the different coasters and the buildings. Like obviously it looks a certain way from up above, but when you actually see it from ground level, how tall everything is looks absolutely insane. And even from the outside, it already feels, even from the outside looking into a photo, it already feels like you're in the theme park. That's just how immersive Epic Universe already feels, even with being, I don't know, probably 50% done with construction and not even 100% complete. I mean, every time we do one of these updates, it's just amazing. Like, we are tracking a new theme park in the US being constructed, and I won't get to do that again until years from now when someone else builds a different one. There are a couple of different buildings starting to be erected as well. Like there's a ticket sales building starting to go up, and you can kind of see the theming of Epic Universe in general. Obviously the main hub is going for kind of like a space theme, is just like kind of the vibe that I get from it. And with the rumor of the dual racing roller coaster being space themed, I would assume that's what the majority hub area is going to be themed to. So this kind of looks like a planetary type of theme. And you obviously got a lot of work going on the actual entryway to Epic Universe. It's going to have a grand entryway. Looks very similar to the entryway for Universal Studios Florida. I believe it is rumored that they're going to have an arch entering into Epic Universe. So that's like obviously on par with the rest of the Universal parks. Islands Adventure is the only one that doesn't have an arch, but they have a giant tower that says "Welcome to Islands of Adventure." But I think Epic Universe will also have an archway, and then on the side you can kind of see the buildings, which will probably be guest relations, the first gift shop, and all that fun stuff. And as soon as you walk in, you'll be greeted with different restaurants, different attractions that are all currently starting to take more and more shape as these Epic Universe photos come out. Going back to the How to Train Your Dragon thing, here's a good look at the service bay for the How to Train Your Dragon coaster. And since our last update that we talked about, it doesn't look like there's a whole ton of new developments with the station, other than, like I said, that wood structure that's currently up right now, and then the different pillars on each side. It's kind of hard to make out how exactly this coaster is going to go. Like, where's the launch going to be? Where is the station? But all you need to know is that wooden area is the station, that steel frame is the first launch, and the rest is just a part of the coaster. Obviously, we have the maintenance bay right behind it, which there's a switch track to get into the maintenance bay. But yeah, I can't wait to see it when this is all at least somewhat done, so we kind of get an idea of where the station's going to be and where the queue is going to be leading up to the station, as we do right now with the dual racing roller coaster. There are no new developments as far as the dome attraction in the middle of the hub area. That's going to be a water-based attraction since our last update, but there is some new stuff happening with the hotel, as there looks to be a lot more progress compared to the last update that we did. Obviously a lot more active work going on. Floors 1 and 2 are underway for construction, and I would assume they're going to start with floors 3, 4, etc. here within the coming weeks or so. And in this zoomed in photo, you can get a great look at the rock work going on for the theming entry portal for the Universal Monsters Land, rumored to be named Dark Universe. And obviously Dark Universe was the name of the Universal Monster series that was supposed to happen since it was scrapped. But maybe it'll be revived once this land opens up. But yeah, Universal Monsters move along quite well. I mean, there's a grass where the Monsters coaster is at. There's obviously that one kind of launch scene or some form of indoor scene for the rumored Wolfman coaster. The Windmill Restaurant still has not seen any progress since the last time we talked about it, when it first got that tower on the top of it, obviously hinting at it being a windmill restaurant. And really the thing that I keep waiting on is for more detail to be added to the main e-ticket Universal Monsters attraction, more detail to be added to the facade. I really want to see once they start adding detail to it. Like, obviously it's been at a standstill for a while. I'm sure a lot of the construction and work is going on the inside portion of the actual attraction and the queue, but I cannot wait to see the detail that goes into Castle Frankenstein. Like, I really, really want to see it, and I know that Universal's waiting to put stuff up because then obviously it's kind of giving it away on what it is, even though a lot of people already know and can already speculate. I mean, it looks like a castle, so that's what we're all calling it, is Frankenstein's castle. But the village is doing well. All of Universal Monsters is doing very well, so I can't wait to see them start to develop this more and more, because it seems like a lot more focus is going into that land now. Not too much going on with Super Nintendo World, but it looks like they are adding some new theming to the Donkey Kong Mine Coaster. This is being built on the walls, whether these be mountains or some form of effect that makes guests feel like they are jumping across different tracks. You can kind of tell where that split is at if you zoom in really closely. There's a steel for the coaster, and then in the middle it's kind of split, but there's still a coaster track. That's where you're going to feel like you're jumping different tracks, and that's why I think that the theming is being built on this wall right here, because there's going to be some form of show element going on there. And there's now a covering for those escalators that will take guests through the Green Warp Pipe up to Princess Peach's castle. There's a brown little steel covering those. But of course, last but not least is the Wizarding World area. I mean, this land is a mess. Like I always talk about it. It's a good mess. It's so narrow, and it gives me Diagon Alley vibes, and it looks like they're putting a lot more work into the actual entry portal. Like there's walls obviously surrounding the little circular entry portal, and then the big giant wall that will actually like transition you from the outside Epic Universe world into the Wizarding World seems to be having more work going on as well. I'm not too sure what we're going to see here. I think that we're going to see kind of like surrounding city buildings as we do see in the land, similar to what Diagon Alley has, to where it's just a big city, landscape, and then you walk in and obviously there's the rest of the land. I think that this is the vibe that they're kind of going for here, but if that's the case, I'm not too sure what the kind of warp entry portal is. And then is that going to give you a grand reveal of the main entry portal, or is that something else? Because I'm confused here. Like, what are we doing? Or is there going to be more theming added, and this is just going to be an entire indoor entry transformation to the Wizarding World? I don't know, because it doesn't look like they're looking to go vertical with that. It looks like they're just building walls around where you're supposed to walk into. So it'll be interesting to see the developments that happen with the Wizarding World. But that's going to do it for our quick Epic Universe update today. Let me know down below in the comments section if I missed anything, because it's very possible that I did, since there is so much going on at this theme park. Let me know what makes you the most excited from this Epic Universe update down below in the comments section. As always, my name is Scott, and you've been watching Exploring Attractions. Please subscribe if you're new here. If you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, and as always, check out all of our social media down below in the description. Positivity is key, and most importantly, remember to keep exploring. Peace out, everybody.